So I can't show clips due to copyright, but Jayden Hicks has been pretty decent throughout preseason, and he's been pretty decent throughout the offseason. And the reason why this is so important because the Kansas City Chiefs secondary still has a question mark, obviously, because if you look at cornerback one, that's obviously Trent McDuffie. But if you look at cornerback two, it's a question mark there. Like, is it Jalen Watson? Is it Nick Jones? Is it Kamal Haddon? Is it Joshua Williams? Is it Nazir Johnson? None of those guys could be cornerback two. In my opinion, maybe cornerback three, but cornerback two, we have to go out there and we have to sign a veteran, because Shamari Connor is going to be playing in the slot. Jayden Hicks, he's going to be a safety, which is very good because in the preseason, as y'all can see, I know y'all was watching the preseason game, Jayden Hicks was actually making some good plays. He was making some pretty good tackles, and he was doing what he has to do. So I loved what I seen out of Jayden Hicks, to be honest. But the Kansas City Chiefs just look scary as a whole, to be honest with you. And having a great defense is going to mean a lot for the Kansas City Chiefs because we literally won the Super Bowl due to having a great defense. So if a guy like Jayden Hicks is showing some, promising skills already just in his rookie year, then that's a very good sign for the Kansas City Chiefs because we don't want this defense to end up taking a big drop down. And we lost L'Jarius Sneed, we lost Mike Edwards, we lost Willie Gay. Those are three very solid players. So we don't want this defense to take a big drop down. And we don't want to end up going back to them times where we had to rely on the offense to, carry the games. Now, I know it seems like we can never have an above average offense and an above average defense at the same time. As you can see last season, we finally had an above average defense, but our offense went to being very stink. So hopefully this year we could just have both. But the defense, so it has some holes. They still have some holes. I mean, we still got a question mark at edge rusher 3. We still got a question mark at cornerback 2. So it's very difficult right now to really, predict how good the Chiefs defense will be. But what we do know is that they do have some studs in the defense. They do have some studs in the secondary. They have some studs on the D-line. So they have some studs at linebacker. The linebacker room is very complete. But let's touch up more on Jayden Hicks. So Jayden Hicks was selected out of Washington State with the 133rd selection in the NFL draft. So against the Jaguars in our preseason game, Hicks played 27 defensive snaps. So that's 47%. He totaled 3 tackles, and one of them was a TFL, which stands for tackle for loss. And this is what Hicks had to say about his performance. Quote, "I would say I'm content with it. There are some plays that I could have made, still plays to be out there. Overall, I think I did all right." Hicks said he needs to keep pushing through and finishing. Quote, "Some plays," he recalled, "I was getting a little tired playing on special teams and stuff like that. At the end of the day, I have to just keep going through the whistle." So Hicks was on the field for 10 special team snaps, during which he was credited with a second quarter tackle that held the Jaguars' punt return to literally no yards. And that was pretty solid, But, quote, "That's a bit of an adjustment with close spacing and stuff like that." That's what he said. Quote, "Learning all the roles and plays on the defense, that's going pretty smooth so far. I'm just looking to keep learning from that and keep going from here." So Justin Reed, who is obviously our starting safety, he's been recovering from a quad injury. So in training camp, Hicks has been taking a lot of starting reps, but Reed is back. He came off the Chiefs' active NFL non-football injury list. Non-football injury list on Monday. And Hicks will likely take a back seat because the veteran Justin Reed is coming back in these upcoming practices. So Hicks will take a back seat. But even though he's been off the field, Justin Reed is already being, a significant influence on Jayden Hicks. And this is what Jayden Hicks had to say about Justin Reed. So, quote, "He's been amazing so far, coaching me up. I'm learning what he's learning. He's showing me how to see plays and attack blocks and stuff like that. He's been such a helpful guy in the room." So that was good right there. Now, Hicks, he did have a problem. He did have a hiccup. He did have a miscue. And his most notable miscue on Saturday was a second quarter roughing the passer penalty on Jaguars quarterback CJ Berthard. I don't know how to say this dude's name. Berthard, I don't really care. And that was after he threw a touchdown pass. So Hicks, he was just trying to get a hand on a pass, but it ended up going a little wrong. which is whatever. He tried to jump up to tip the ball, but he got pushed a little bit by the guard at the end of the play, and they still called a roughing the passer. But you know how that go. But Hicks had 3.5 sacks over his final 2 seasons at Washington State. So getting to the quarterback is not new to Jayden Hicks. So even with that Saturday little error he had, he will get some opportunities for some splash plays in the backfield. Best believe. And this is what he had to say, quote, "I was all over, doing whatever in college. We were blitzing at the safety spot, so I feel like I can make plays there. That's good that I'm able to do that in this defense." So while Saturday was obviously like a practice, I think preseason is like a glorified practice. That's what I call preseason, a glorified practice. Hicks loved getting a taste of the NFL game day. And what he had to say was, quote, "It was amazing. Seeing all the guys getting ready for the game, getting all the jitters out as well. It was good and a good atmosphere." So I like what Hicks is saying, and I love his potential. And hopefully it could keep, he could keep doing what he's doing and really develop into a pretty solid safety because he's very athletic. He has all the athleticism. I mean, he does look ready for some immediate playing time if he's needed. And yeah. And the Kansas City Chiefs, they weren't even expected to come away with a safety in this year's draft class. It had plenty of talent, but they didn't expect that great of a value to fall into their lap. But when it does happen, if Veach doesn't overthink things, he's going to take that value. So nobody's really quite sure why Jayden Hicks was even available at the end of the 4th round of this year's draft. But nobody's complaining, trust me. I mean, he wasn't projected, to really be a first-round pick. But for many draft analysts, he was one of the top safeties on the big boards. And everyone literally thought that he would be off the board by the time the Chiefs made their second selection in the 4th. So I know it's only been a few months of the Chiefs off-season program, and that's OTAs, mini camp, voluntary workouts, and some training camp. But Hicks has looked like a pro-ready playmaker that he was projected to be. And for a team that's, like I said, that's experienced some hiccups in the secondary, Hicks' presence has definitely been a blessing this offseason, man. I'm glad that he was able to get them reps early in the preseason. I'm glad that he was doing very well in the offseason. It's a great pick. It's a great pick. And he's also projected to be a core special teams player, So that's something that's very solid as well, man. And obviously, like I keep saying, Justin Reed is back. So Hicks is going to find himself, he's going to find himself having to settle for a backup role. But the Chiefs are not going to let his skill set just, fade away on the bench for too long. They're going to definitely bring him in on some sub packages alongside Reed and Brian Cook. Because don't forget Brian Cook. Brian Cook is a very solid safety. Don't forget what he was doing not last season. Don't forget what he was doing the first season, his rookie season. Because he's also a stud. We ain't going to forget Brian Cook. I might have to make a video on Brian Cook. But yeah, man, if you enjoyed this little Jayden Hicks video, I do believe that he potentially could be a certified X Factor for the Chiefs one day if his potential just, goes to that level. But it's been your boy Chiefs Priority, and I'm out, man. Peace.